Hi everyone, it's Kate. Welcome back to my channel. Do I still even have a channel? That remains to be seen. I have not uploaded anything in a very long time. In fact, I think the last video that I uploaded was my 2025 planner lineup, and here we are with my 2026 planner lineup. So, hi. I hope you're all doing well. It's just been kind of a crazy year, and the way that I intended to use my planners this year did not exactly work out the way that I had planned for. So I just sort of dropped off making videos entirely. I'd like to get back to it, and I think that starts with a very well-intentioned 2026 planner lineup. So let's get into it. If you are new, if this is the first video that you are seeing on my channel, you may hear noises in the background that sound a lot like dogs eating, snorting, snoring. Those are French bulldogs. They don't do anything quietly. If I waited for them to be quiet, I would never be able to film video. Also, apologies in advance if the lighting is terrible. I have one light set up right now, and I'm just going to try to fix any issues in editing because I don't have a dedicated filming space and I don't really know exactly where to put it right now. Okay, here we go. Okay, so before we get into 2026, let's talk about what happened in 2025. So my original planner lineup for 2025 was an A6 horizontal from Sterling Ink for work, a B6 notebook that was going to be my creative journal, an A5 vertical weekly for my catch-all, and then a B5 monthly planner for my shop planning. And that was all, they were all Sterling Ink. Why can I not even, I'm so out of practice. Sterling Ink, right? Anyway, the A6 work planner, I probably used on and off, mostly for daily sheets, like daily pages for, I don't know, a couple months. And then I got off track with it. My work situation has changed drastically this year. We'll get into that in a little while. And overall, I just needed to consolidate. I wasn't using my planners, and I just wanted to be in one instead of in a million of them. And I think where I was in my life at that time, like a year ago, I just didn't have as much going on as I do now. So here's what happened with my A5 vertical weekly. I got this planner partially so that I could do YouTube spreads. There's weekly spreads for YouTube. Obviously a weekly spread benefits me, but it was the only planner that was in my lineup that I thought would probably make it onto the channel with any regularity. I did start the year with it, and I was doing some sort of, just very minimal decorating. I got to mid-February, and then it just kind of fell off. I decorated this week for my birthday week, never used it. And then I picked it up a few times over the course of the year when I needed a weekly spread for something, like if I had a lot going on and just needed to, to know what was going on, or if I needed to test out stickers and things, layouts and things like that. So there are a couple spreads that are decorated, but not a ton of them. It was really too bad. It's a waste of the planner, the tabs, which are from Passion Planner, and I love them. I also intended to use this as kind of what are those called? A commonplace, notebook. The second I turn the camera on, the dog gets her ball. Tink, I need you to chill. I need you to just chill, okay? I know, you cannot play with that right now. I know. So I swatched all of my pens and markers in here, and then didn't end up using the planner a ton. I'm gonna pull these pages out because I'm not redoing these in another planner. I honestly think that this planner could still be used. Most of the weeks of the year have not been used, so I think if I needed to, I could just redate them. And there's tons of note pages at the back as well. So I'm not gonna throw this out. I'm gonna use it at some point. I always end up using my old planners for one thing or another. But that's where this ended up. What I ended up doing was turning my B6 planner, which was or the B6 notebook, which was my creative journal, into like an all-in-one planner. And that you can see I have used, like by the end of this year, because I'm filming this on Saturday, December 20th, this will be filled up by the end of the year. So it did get used. There are definitely some empty pages in it that I intended to use for things and then didn't. There are some that I'm going to go back and fill in, but for the most part, this got used, and I'm happy with this. I like the B6 size for journaling. There were times when it was last year I was using an A5 Hobonichi Cousin with a page per day. Sometimes that felt like a lot. I did, when I was journaling regularly in this, I did end up using about a page per day, but I also just let myself do what felt right in the moment. So sometimes that was 2 pages a day. Sometimes I didn't journal at all. The second half of this year, I haven't journaled as much, but I've filled up the pages with other things. I've used it for work notes. I've added in a monthly calendar that I decorate and then print and tip in. Overall, happy with this. My plan for 2026 originally was to get another B6, to use a B6 planner, and I had an extra A5 sterling ink notebook that I was going to use in this cover for my creative journal. And then things happened, like my job changed twice. And then I was trying to figure out like what covers I was going to use with things. These are from Naya Papery. Tariffs happened, so I wasn't sure that I wanted to order from an American company. And just knowing that I hadn't stuck with a planner throughout this year made me a little bit hesitant. So I was all prepared to just have a notebook, and then my job changed for the second time this year in October, and I realized that I was really going to need an actual planner. But I had no idea what I was going to order. And then the other day, like literally the other day, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, I was about to order a planner from a Canadian company, and it wasn't the layout that I really wanted, but I was going to suck it up. And I just happened to see this company linked in an Instagram post. And so I went to the website and fell in love immediately with the planners and ordered 2 of them. And those are going to be 2 of my planners this year. So let me show you what those planners are. If I sound like I'm sick, it's because I am. I actually feel kind of garbagey. I was off sick the last 2 days, most of the last 2 days from work, and it's terrible timing. I don't know what it is, but I'm Advilled up, and I wanted to get this video filmed. So please excuse my voice. Okay. Faded Chronicle. I had never heard of this company until a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I went on to their website and found this collective full year planner in A5, and then this traveler's notebook, which this is brand new size to me. Never used this size before. Don't have a cover for it. Don't have anything for it, but I'm really excited about it. So let's start with the A5, and then we'll come to this one, and I'll talk about what I'm going to use each of them for. Okay, I left them in the box. I have opened them, but I wanted to show you how it was packed because I think it's really cute. So it comes in this really nice box. When you open it, it's got a little tray inside. So you pull that out, and it's got all these little packing things in it, which I think are cute. Set that aside. These aside now. There go my dog. My husband is out tonight. It's like 8:30 p.m. My husband is out, and so they are very easily triggered because they are certain he's coming home at any moment. Okay, so the first thing that you get is this little piece of cardstock that has the 2026 embossed, I guess, in it. It says FC for Faded Chronicle. When you turn it over, it's got a little overview of the year. It's kind of like a bookmark, I guess. Then you get a set of these sticky tabs. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these ones or if I'm going to use Passion Planner tabs because I do have a ton of them and I really love them, but these are really good quality and I think would work well in the planner as well. Okay, it did not come ripped like this. I just could not get it out of the packaging properly last night when it arrived and ended up ripping it. So this is, let me get it. Am I in frame? Okay, this is the Chronicle planner. It's called the Collective, and it has 2 weekly spreads per week, which I have seen some other companies doing. I have a friend who used one this year and really liked it. I really wasn't sure if that was for me until I saw this particular layout, and then I knew that it was. So I will take you through the layout of this planner. It is Tomoe River paper. It's 52 GSM sans and paper, so it's the good stuff. It's A5 size. This color is, I think, charcoal is what it's called. It also came in mushroom and linen. I think my TN is linen. I think they're all sold out right now, but maybe she's doing a restock. I'm not sure. Okay, so here is what the planner looks like. So you open it, you've got, whoops, your yearly overview, and then 2027, 2028 there. Then you have 2 blank grid pages, and then you get these cool quarterly sheets. So one of the things about the Sterling Ink planner that was tough for me was knowing how to use all of the sheets at the beginning of the planner. Those like someday goal tracker things, I never knew what to do with those. This I feel like is a lot more functional for me. So there's spots for, you know, you can use them however you want. They're not labeled, which I love. This is going to be primarily my work planner, but because it has 2 weeklies in it, I will be combining some uses for it. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so we have all 4 of the quarter sheets here, and then this overview right here of the whole year. And then we have a blank grid page, and this, I don't even know what this is called. But anyway, another dated sheet for the month with some note space at the bottom. And then you move into the 2-page monthly spread, which is a pretty typical A5 spread. I'm guessing, I haven't checked, but I'm guessing like Hobonichi Cousin kits would fit in here. And I think the, like anything made for Sterling Ink probably would as well. Okay, this is the first weekly layout. So I think this is so cool. I've never seen one quite like this. I am gonna be using this for work. So up here, I'm gonna put like recurring weekly tasks. In here, I'm planning like, you know, meetings and calendar events and things like that. This will probably be a to-do list. These will be, I'm thinking some like work-related habit trackers. And then down here, I've got like 3 or 4 categories that I'm sort of planning to use here, but just different areas of work that I'm gonna need to jot things down. I use OneNote for a lot of work-related tasks and tracking, especially very involved tasks, but there are just some things that OneNote can't do for me, like jotting down, you know, a number when I need to quickly, which happens multiple times a day. And then needing to go back and reference those to make sure that I do what's needed with them. So this will be my work weekly. When you flip the page, that's the other thing about this planner, everything is grouped together. So like the weeks and months, so you get your month, and then you get all the weeks for that month, and then you get your next month. Right after that horizontal weekly, you get a vertical weekly. This one I am going to use as a combination of work and personal, because I do want to get back into decorating a weekly spread. That is, for me, a creative outlet that I've gotten out of practice with. The other reason I stopped doing them last year, or stopped filming anyway, or never started filming, was that I was new to that style of planning, like much more decorative than I used to do in my Hobonichi Cousin, and I was not confident in it. I'm still not great at it. It's still not my strong suit, but I am better at it, and also I just don't really care anymore, so we're just gonna do it. These are the ones that, if I film, will be in my videos. There's too much work stuff that is like confidential that I just don't know if there's really much I can film. And I don't know that there's really much that would make for a good video here. I doubt that this spread will be all that decorative. In any case, here's week 2 vertical, week 3 horizontal, week 3 vertical, and so on and so forth. At the end of the month, you have your plain grid page, this monthly overview, and then straight into the monthly. Love that they're grouped like that. The other thing is that at the back of this planner, there are all of these grid pages. So we start here. So it ends with the last week of December. And then we go into the grid pages, of which there are 233, which doesn't sound like enough to be a daily planner. And originally I wasn't planning on using it for that. However, I realized that because this is primarily for work, I don't need it to have 365 daily pages in it. There are 260 weekdays a year. If I subtract 15 vacation days, 12 holidays, 2 personal days, like that kind of thing, there are 231. That's what goes on in my house. If I subtract 15 vacation days, 12 holidays, 2 personal days, there are 231 working days left and 233 note pages. So I basically have up to 1 page per day for each work day of the year. I won't need a full page each day. There'll be a lot of days where I don't use any, but knowing that I could use a page per day, I really like. And I will probably decorate these a little bit here and there. I've been getting the Rosie Life Planner digital sub. It's not really a sub. She's just offering her monthly sub digitally. So I've been getting that the last couple months. And so I will probably continue to get that. And then this is the kind of thing that I'll decorate these pages with so that, you know, it doesn't need to be a lot. It might be like a couple elements here and there when I feel like it. Often it'll just be pen, and that's fine. So, work planner. I am waiting on a clear cover for this and for the Traveler's Notebook from Sterling Ink. I got like the label notification like a week ago and they haven't shipped yet, which is kind of a bummer. So I need to be really careful with these until they get here, especially the TN, because I don't have a cover for that. This one is gonna go in this cover here, but the TN is like, I don't even know if I can take it out of the box until that clear cover comes, because I'm notorious for spilling things. In any case, this is the Faded Chronicle Collective Planner, Chronicle Planner. I'm not really sure what the name is exactly. No, it's the 2026 Chronicle Planner. There, it's right there. Okay, let me put this back in the box before I harm it in some way. Also, I said that that was going to be my work planner, and like primarily will be the functional spread, like the horizontal spread, and like the daily pages will definitely be more work related. But because it has 2 weeklies, like it will likely be a catch-all planner. I just needed more structure than just a notebook was going to give me. And because of what I need it for work now, it doesn't make sense to have it combined with my journal anymore. But that's where this comes in. I'm so excited about this. I don't know what possessed me to buy a TN planner. Never had one. I've had weeks planners, but never a TN. Okay, so same packing setup. Also comes with the little cardstock like bookmark thing and the tabs. And then it looks like this. So this is the linen cover. It is also, am I in frame? It is also Tomoe River paper, and it's a different layout. So it doesn't have 2 weekly layouts. It only has 1. We'll get there in a second. So it looks like this. You can see that. And it has the same setup at the front of it as the other one does. So you have your yearly overview, 2 blank grid pages. So this is going to be my creative journal, and I think it's going to be a good layout for it. When I was using the Hobonichi Cousin, I didn't love that every day was dated because it felt like I couldn't journal more than a page per day. With the notebook, because there was so little structure in it, like none, sometimes I just didn't use it because I'd have to, like, remembering to date it, going back and making sure that I was journaling things in order, because couldn't just, fill in a page for that day months later, like I did sometimes with the Hobonichi Cousin. This is not as structured as a Hobonichi Cousin, but it's more structured than just a notebook. So here are your grid pages. Then you have the same, and you know what? We're just gonna have to deal with this dog a little bit because she's relentless. Blank pages. Okay, so I tend to decorate the inside cover of my planner. I don't know if I'll do that here or here and just cover this up, but this will be plenty space for that. This page will be my annual, like this year I will, with my intentions. Here, I like to write a letter to my future self that I can go back and look at, at the end of the year and see if, my advice to myself was any good. In here, I'm planning on using this for things like birthdays, anniversaries, important dates, maybe jotting things down like ahead of time if I need to plan ahead for anything. That's what that'll be. This is going to be a habit tracker page for habits that I want to track yearly or like quarterly progress on. So there are habit trackers in the weekly spread, and I will use those, but some things most of those will just be things that I want to make sure I do a certain number of times a week. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day if I do them. This is where I'm going to track habits that I actually want to build habits on. So that'll be here. And then same thing for quarter 3 and 4. And then this page here. And then it has the same layout for this part as the other one does. So you get one page of just a grid page. This will be like my monthly intro page, which I have been decorating in my journal. I don't know if this is going to be like a 1 line a day thing, so gratitude, something, or if it'll just be more important dates, a list of something. I'm not sure yet exactly what that'll be. Then we go into the monthly. This is a new monthly for me. I don't think that a Hobonichi weeks kit will fit in here, but I don't know for sure. I'm not planning on doing full kits in any of these planners, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe in the weekly occasionally, the vertical weekly, but more likely than not, I will just use some deco here. Okay. And then we have the horizontal weekly, which is the same as the A5, just narrower. So up here, I think I'm going to put, I don't know for sure if I'm going to use this as a planner or as a memory keeper in conjunction with journaling. So I could use this as appointments and timed events, a personal to-do list, chores, that kind of thing. And then some lists here. Or I might just use this all for journaling. So maybe here's a quick recap of the day. Maybe, I don't know. It'll depend on how much I end up using the weekly spread, the vertical weekly in the other planner on a day-to-day basis. This planner is likely not going to come back and forth to work with me, whereas the other one will. So I would think a lot of my checklists, daily to-do lists, things like that will be in that planner. And this may end up being more memory keeping, which is totally fine. Here is the habit tracker portion where I'm going to track the things that I want to make sure I do, but don't need to track long-term. And then this, if I'm not using it for lists, maybe it's reflections on, a few different areas of life. After the weekly, you get 6 grid pages. So they are just blank, so not one page per day, but I think there's enough in here that I can journal without feeling because the weeks are grouped, I can sort of treat this like it's a daily, it's a dated daily almost, or an undated daily, I guess. I'll be dating it myself. So again, there may be some weeks where I don't journal anything here and just do some reflections here. There may be weeks where I'm tipping in extra pages in here or using, 3 pages for one day and then just, half page for the rest of the days. I don't know. I'm fine with whatever. Again, the decoration, the deco will be this kind of thing. And I will probably try to pre-decorate at least a few pages a week so that I can just pick up the pen and start writing, because that was another thing that has sort of stopped me a little bit in my notebook, is that because I don't know how many pages I'm going to use in a week or a month or whatever, I tend not to pre-plan or pre-decorate, because what if I decorate 20 pages and then I only use 10 and then they're like out of season or whatever, right? Here it's pretty easy. If it's seasonal, it's literally just for the week that directly precedes the grid pages. So I'm excited about this one. I feel like it's a good balance of structure and like free form that I can do what I want with. It's not like a vertical weekly where I feel like I have to plan out the whole week in it. And I also have trouble. I know some people just ignore the grid lines or the columns in vertical weeklies. I can't do that. So the fact that this doesn't have it, and I can use this for so many different things and even vary it from week to week, is exciting for me. So new planner size, new planner layout. I'm gonna have to get a cover for it, because I will, like a true cover, like this kind, because I will mess it up. Especially if I'm using it like a journal, it's gonna get well used. And that's good. I like a fluffy planner. My planner this year did not get nearly as fluffy as I would have liked. I don't think I tipped in, like I didn't tip in any vellum or anything like that. This year I'm gonna do a lot more of that in here. So yeah, this little TN is gonna be my journal slash home planner. I think there will be times where these are all to-do lists. This is all like, get your shit together, Kate, and get stuff done, and that's okay. And at the back there are 27 grid pages, and then this, which I think is such a smart idea. I don't even know if I'm in frame. A spacing guide, so you don't have to count the number of grid squares every single time. I think that is brilliant. And then there's the usual stuff at the back, like contact lists and personal info. So yeah, that's my journal. Okay, this video is probably 1.5 million years long. I have one more planner to show you. This is a brand new type of planner for me. So I have used reading planners before. I used to use the soooo bookish planner, I think it was called. And I didn't mind that for what I was doing at the time. I think I used it most of one full year and then like maybe half of another. But the past couple of years, and especially this past year, I have gotten back into reading so much more than previous years. I used to read like nonstop, constantly, my whole childhood, teenage years, young adult, whatever. And then life happened and kids and whatever. The last year or so, I've gotten back into it so much, and I am loving it. And I really wanted somewhere to track that. So this is a novel companion by Little Inklings. It is a Canadian company. So is Chronicle, by the way, in case I didn't mention that. Little Inklings does have like a full planner that has all of these pages in it as well. But I didn't want to use, I wanted a separate planner for this. This isn't gonna go to work with me. It's not gonna go anywhere. This is really so that I can track my reading, plan better for books that I wanna read, because my TBR is stupid. And most of it is like saved Reddit comments where people have recommended books, and then I just don't do anything with them. So I have Goodreads. I update it occasionally, but it's just like an endless stream, and that I don't always look at. So I think having it in front of me will help. So let's go through this one quickly. So you have your little inside cover page here. This book belongs to. There are some pages here for like you can set your star rating system for what they mean. I've never really like set what these actually mean for me, so I'll have to give that a little bit of thought. Most anticipated books, a little legend, and then there are some goal pages here, goal boxes. I don't know if I have a specific goal in mind, other than I want to be able to track it. I read a lot. Most of what I read is in my Kindle app. And that tracks the days that you picked up the Kindle, like the app, or opened the app. It doesn't track anything other than that. So I just want to have more insight into like how many books did I actually read. I guess it actually does tell me how many books I read, but yeah, it's just very basic analytics. Not that I'm going to go crazy, but you know. So we have that. We've got dates to remember, which I'm super excited about because I already have a ton of books to put in here that I'm looking forward to. A reading checklist. There are 4 pages of that. You have your bookshelf so that you can fill it in as you go. There are pages for quotes, which I think is really cute. There's, I think, 4 pages total of that. A book series tracker, which I like. A wish list. I don't know how much I'll use this because if I want a book, then I usually just get it. Author backlist. I'm excited for this one. I definitely have a few authors that I am working through their catalog, so that's exciting. Books to reread. I think this is a cute page. And then there are a whole bunch of challenges. So this one is a blank challenge. It says, you know, this page is open to your creativity. You could record book club picks, your favorite book of them each month, etc. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to use this one for. Maybe top book each month. I'm not sure. And then you have a battle of the books, which I think is cute. So your best from each month, a list of 5-star reads and the format. I don't know how much I'm going to track formats. I do listen to audiobooks, but far more I just read ebooks. So I'm not sure if that will mean a ton to me. And then there are a bunch of other challenges. So A to Z challenge, fully booked reading challenge, on the cover reading challenge, reading rainbow, read books with covers of every color in the rainbow, a genre reading challenge. This I don't think I'll do. There's a lot in here that I won't read. Read through the ages, definitely not. Around the world, whether you use a book setting where an author's from or a mix of both, complete this challenge by reading at least one book for each location. I honestly probably won't use that one, but maybe, like, again, if I read something that fits one of them, I'll fill it in. Okay, this page I'm going to use to track like reading time each day. So I'm going to color code it, just rainbow colors. And to track this, I'm just going to use my screen time app in my phone to track this. So screen time app shows me how long I had the Kindle app open each day. That's where I'll get this info from. And then there's a reading goal tracker. So I was saying I don't know if I'm going to set a specific goal for myself for reading. If I do, this particular planner track up to 90 for a goal, so that'll be the goal. Monthly reading stats. I probably will use this because why not? It's there. Okay, then there are some pages where you can make some graphs. So genres are book format, star rating, and then a blank one where you can do whatever you want in it. I don't know what I'm gonna use that for. And then there are a bunch of grid pages or dot grid pages. And then you get a monthly spread. So I am going to, it's undated. I'm making some script stickers for the month. I am going to turn it into a Monday start. I hate Sunday start calendars. And then here I'm going to track what books I started and finished on which days. So I have stickers for those that have been in my shop for 100,000 years. So I'm going to use those. And then not sure what I will use this for, maybe a checklist, but there are more pages for that in here. So there's a books to read page. There are new releases. There's a bookish haul. Again, like a lot of the books I read are Kindle Unlimited, so I don't know if I'm really going to track those here. I don't have shelves of books. Like I have one shelf of physical books, and they're, things like Nelson Mandela's autobiography and Paul Martin, who was a Canadian Prime Minister, and like Bill Clinton, and the books about the 2008 and 2012 American presidential elections. Those are literally like the only books that I have physical copies of. So I'm not sure how much I will use this, but maybe I'll find a use for it. And then reading wrap up. So this is sort of the same thing that goes in this page here, but you can track it here for the month and then transfer it over. Then you get a dot grid and a lined page, and then it starts over with the next month. So you have the same pages for each month. So it's pretty basic in the monthly pages, but there's still a lot of space and a lot of things to track. The back of the book, so after the December wrap up, there are some coloring pages And then, oh, and then, okay, so this is a coloring page. This is just the title page for book reviews. So there's a whole section for book reviews. There's a ton of them. I don't write a ton of reviews, so this will be new for me. I mean, how many are there? 23 times 4, so there's almost 100 reviews. So potentially I could review every book I read this year. Who knows? I'll probably try to fill these out just to have the stats of what I read that month and what I thought of them. And then after that you get, I don't know, it's like 5 pages of grid and then 5 pages of lined, or maybe 6, I'm not sure. And that is it. So I'm excited for this one. This is very new for me, but it makes me happy to think about having a place to track my reading, the books that I know are being released this year from certain authors, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm excited to dive into this one too. Okay, so those are my 2026 planners. I am very excited for them. If you are using new planners or new to you planners, or you just want to share what kind of planner you're using, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you're using. I am hoping to be back with at least semi-regular plan with me's, maybe monthly setup videos in this one. We'll see, but definitely some weekly spreads in here. And I will try to give an update on my reading for the year as well. So that is it for me. I don't even remember how I used to sign off on videos. If you like the video, hit the like button, do the YouTube-y things, like, subscribe, all the things, and I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye, friends.